Hello friends, welcome back to my hobby home. Happy Saturday morning. This is not really a Saturday morning sew along, but friends, I hope you come along with me. And so what I am doing today is working on my June block. This came in the Quilted Cows 2025 Christmas box. I think it was called Winter Wonderland. It's from the Quilted Cow. It's a block of the month calendar. I am loving this. I'm a little behind. I'm on month 6, which is June. So I have June, July, August to do. I'm hoping to catch that up before I head out on retreat. So friends, I've already got all my fabrics cut. You know, I've got my blues, my whites, my sky, and my regular blue. The first blue was a dark blue. I should have turned you down here on the table because it's not going to matter. If you do not have this little dandy right here, which is the kitty cornered template or kitty cornered ruler, it's not going to matter what the things are. I have already cut my fabrics, so now I am to sewing fabric H, which is my sky. This is what they call sky, and I will be sewing it to unit B of fabric F. This is my fabric F and this is my unit B. So I am going to, I hope you can see on my table here how I do this. I am just taking that there, and I have to look, friends, because if I don't look at my book, I can't tell how this goes. Luckily, on the kitted corner ruler, it does clip your corners off, so you know where you're supposed to be matching up. And that I'm pretty certain I am, but I know once I sew this, I will be trimming it down as well. I just want to make sure it's not getting off-centered, I want the edges even. So that's just the easiest way to say it. So I'm going to get over here. I have to look for my thread. I couldn't see my thread there, friends. So we can just start sewing this. And friends, I hope your Saturday has started well. We are still going to be in the hundreds, whether it's real feel or actual temp. It don't matter. If it says real feel 100, the real feel is 100. I know today is Saturday while I'm pre-recording this. When I got in my vehicle this evening, not even near lunchtime, it was about 5 p.m. I got in my vehicle to go have dinner with my dad and my stepmom. I think I'm doing 4 of these, or am I doing 2 of them? I'm guessing I'm doing 4 of them because I have to do, some of these are opposite directions. You'll see, so some go on one side, some go on the other side. I've finally learned to read the directions, follow the directions, because it does tell you 2 has to be face up and 2 has to be face down. And friends, I love this. It is such a beautiful, I love how the patterns, I don't know why, but I like doing blocks that have shapes like this. I just really do enjoy it a lot. And I'm hoping they do something like this again in this next year's box. I haven't seen anything come out about the the Quilted Cow. I keep calling them ginger quilter. The Quilted Cow. I got a notice today that I had something coming from a quilt shop, and I've never heard of it. And I started thinking, did I order something from this quilt shop? Now, I do know I have one thing that I ordered. I did a pre-order on it, and it's supposed to be coming out in September. And that was not the name of the company that I pre-ordered it from, because it's a company that I order from a lot, or used to anyway. This year, I've not done a lot of ordering. I've really tried to manage my spending, because I've already got a hoard of fabric, so I don't really need any more fabric. I'm finding that I'm needing a coordinating fabric, so I am kitting up some 3-yard quilts. And like I said, I'm just going through my stashes. I have these are baskets right here down beside me that has fabric in them that I need to go through and kit up some of that fabric. I think that would be nice if I got some of that kitted up. I mean, all of this fabric I paid money for, so it would be nice to get something back out of it, even if it's not the full amount I paid for it, so I just want to get something back for it. It will help me hone in my crafts. Now, a lot of the patterns that I do kit up to, they are free patterns. A lot of patterns are free patterns. If I offer more than one of them, it is because the pattern is free, or I may have 2 of the same pattern. Now, if I have a paid for pattern, you will only see the one. You will see that, and you will get that paid for pattern. Now, I am currently kitting up some projects that I did, but I'm adding fabric to it because I think they're fabulous patterns, and I will share them with the items to make it. Now, granted, my choice may not be the same as somebody else's, but feel free, if you purchased a kit that I have kitted up and it's not the same fabric as what was in the picture on the pattern, I have 2 kits right now that I am not going to be putting the same fabrics in them because those were exclusive to, that subscription box. But I will try to put something comparable in it. So friends, I am going to press these real quick so we can put the other side over here. So one moment. Okay friends, I am back with these pressed. So what I will do now is put the other half of our cut right here on the other side. And how I'm going to do that, because I want to sew from top to bottom, but if I pin it on this side, it's going to put me having to sew this direction. So what I am going to do, I am going to pin it from the back side. I'm going to line it up from the front side. I can see it's lined up there. So this way it will put me sewing on the back side of it. But it's just easier for me if I can continue to go from top to bottom. Because at the top side there's no seam up there that I'm going to have to start off on. So it will sew over that a lot easier. And friends, if you got the Quilted Cows Christmas box, winter box, whatever it was called, and you have not done this, I hope you've seen the videos that I've done on the sewing. It is a lot easier than I thought it would be. Because friends, I'm not one to really go off on a lot of different things like this, but I have really enjoyed working these. And I know somebody's probably saying in their head, well, if you enjoyed them so much, why are you behind? Life has happened, friends. Life has happened. Grandbabies has happened, and I will take that part of life any day over sewing. I love seeing my grandbabies. And friends, you can see how fast I'm just getting this done. cutting the fabric is, I'm going to say, about 45% of your time, because you have to cut and then you have to use your ruler to cut down more. But it's fine. It really turns out nicely here. So friends, what are you doing? What is going on this Saturday? Welcome to August the 1st. It is finally time we can start. Here in Louisiana, we can't start looking at fall yet. I did a harvest on my garden yesterday. I came up with a full little like soup bowl of little fingertip tomatoes. If I think about it, I'll add a picture in if I think about it. I got me a handful of okra. My cucumbers, my pickling cucumbers, friends, they are just, I don't know what's happening to them. I've not gotten any decent shape, and I know they say it irregular watering. I have mine set up on a watering system, but they say irregular watering and something else, and I either get fat, and then from cucumbers go from this big to this big in 2 days. And I didn't go out to my garden for a couple days, so I pretty much don't have any pickling cucumbers because I'm just not catching them in time. And that'll be okay, because I mean, I know other places that do organic growing with pickles and things like that, and I'll just let them do it, because I will never have enough pickles to do a batch of I will never have enough cucumbers to do a batch of pickles. So what I was going to do with mine was just do some refrigerator pickles and get my solution done and just put them in the fridge. And then every time I got more cucumbers, I would just slice them and put them in the solution. But don't look like that's going to happen. I may try it, because I want to see if these cucumbers, they turned yellow. So to me, that means their seeds are too big. But I may see what they're like. Now, they're pickling cucumbers. They're not snacking cucumbers. So I don't imagine they would taste very good if I just wanted to pick some and snack on them. Okay, friends, I have those 4 done. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and press these out and trim them down to what they need to be. We now have our 4 squares trimmed. The next thing we do, we will take our 4 light blue squares. We're going to align them on a fabric H. What is my fabric H? That is my sky. Was I supposed to have more than one of those? So I see what I did. I'm supposed to do 2 on one of these. Okay. I was getting a little confused there. I take 2 of my sky blues. I think that's what this, no, this is light blue. And we put it on sky. And we line them up on here. Now we are going to have to sew on both sides of the center. Now on this, it does tell me I need to draw a diagonal. I don't need to draw a diagonal because I have my little light here that's going to do that for me. I am pinning this fabric down so it stays in place. Now I also come down here and it shows lining them up. I'm going to put this bottom piece under the top piece. And I'm also going to pin it in place. The reason I put it underneath it is so it doesn't flip up while I'm sewing over it. Now what I will do is sew on 1/4 of an inch away from the center. So what I will do is I have my light move to the right 1/4 of an inch away from the center of the needle line, the sew line. So I will line that up on the points of my fabric, and we will start by sewing to the left of the center. So I am just keeping that line on the points of each one of the pieces here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is flip the fabric, and I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. Okay, so now what I need to do is trim through the center. I will be attaching the other 2 squares once I trim this. I will press these going upwards, you see those, in just a second, and then we will add the 3rd and 4th piece. And here we are with these 2. So what I'm going to do is take the other 2 squares I have here. I'm going to put one face down on each piece, and we will sew on both sides of center line, and we'll use the light the same way. Friends, I have this down in the description in the quilty things that I love. If you ever wonder about things that I use when I sew, I do have a list in the description of the things that I use, so feel free to go check them out, look at them if you'd like to. I use this light has been a game changer for me. Is it the easiest thing to use? Not always. It is very bendable, very flexible. You do have to make sure you have it aligned correctly, and it takes a little bit just to figure out how to do that. So now this one is going to be 1/4 of an inch on the other side. I'm not using my light for this one. I can use the marks on my machine. I just have to make sure I'm on the right one, because I know the outside edge of my foot is 1/4 inch, so when I put my fabric down there, I know I'm at 1/4 of an inch, and then I will just stay on the 1/4 of an inch mark here on my machine. But I just follow this 1/4 of an inch seam here, and when I come up on the side, I just try to make sure I'm on there. And I don't know why I just trimmed my thread there, because I have to do the other one too. So same thing, we are going to line it up here. And friends, sometimes the light works great for you and other times not so much. This is an instant right here where if I have to flip the fabric, I don't want to be moving it. So what I'm going to try this way this time. I'm going to put my foot down, because the foot I have is 1/4 inch foot. So if I line my fabric on the outside of this foot, I know I'm 1/4 inch. And I can keep this point down here on my 1/4 inch guideline as well. And that works pretty good. So now I'm going to put the fabric on the right side of the foot and put my point on that 1/4 inch that's to the right of the stitch line. And just keep that lined up there. Okay, so now that gives me my two other pieces. So what I'm going to do is cut these in half, press and trim down, and we will be right back. Okay, friends, that was their way of doing flying geese. We've got those done. So let's see where we are at. I believe we are at the process of putting things together. It does look like we take our flying geese and we have a white rectangle here that we just put on top of the flying geese. So I am going to pin these at the top and the end to make sure we are all together there. And we are just going to start these. Now, as you all know, flying geese are not my favorite. And even doing it this way, they came out just like my others do. Not right. Some of them came out pretty close. But I have one that did not at all. But you know what? It's okay. Because it all comes out in the wash. Every bit of it. So I don't stress over this. If my sewing doesn't come out right, friends, it's not about perfection. Because when I get done, you're not going to be able to tell that the block was messed up a little bit. And even if you are, I am happy you noticed it, because I know 90% of the time I can't even tell there's a problem. Even though I know there was something that happened, I can't even tell something happened. I was hoping this was going to be a short, quick video because I had everything already cut out. And those flying geese turned me into a liar. But the video may be short, but right now, real time, I've been doing this right at 50 minutes. And you do get a cut down version of that, thank goodness. You don't have to sit here and watch me do all of the ironing, thank goodness. Who wants to see all that? But we get to... We're almost... Right now, I am in the piecing stage already. What I mean by I don't have any more cuts I have to make. I just have pressing to do on this right now, and that does take a little time, friends. So I may be able to pull out my design board, put these up, and be able to just pull them down one at a time and sew them. But there's always pressing that has to be done. Now we have these 4 pieces done, so we are going to start arranging the 4 kitty cornered units, 4 flying geese, and a fabric elf. I'm guessing this is my fabric elf because this is the only one that has not been used. So to start our units, I know this is how this has to be pinned up or put together, because I can see it right here on the paper, friends. So all we are doing is doing our 3 pieces to make our row. Okay, so we have 3 rows. What I will do is the first 2 pieces of each row, and then we will take those off and add the 3rd piece to complete the row. And we should have this done in just 5-10 minutes, maybe. But I always pin at the beginning and at the end of the pieces that I'm sewing, so those are even. It's nothing like finishing a quilt and having zigzags on the end of it where nothing is matching up. I have had quilts do that, guys. I have had. When I first began quilting, I didn't do that. But I do now. And it does make for a better quilt. I do have to say that. It does make for a lot better quilt. It says sew units into rows, press away from kitty cornered units, and we don't care. It's just like, whatever. I'm not going to care about pressing at all until, well, I will have to press before I put the rows together. So this starts our second row. Okay, so that was our third row that we just did the 2 pieces on. We're just going to take these off and then put the third piece on each row, because I can make this one is definitely the bottom row. So let me get, and I'm fine starting it from the bottom and working my way to the top, because they're all technically the same, even though they go different directions, but you will catch that. That will be hard to not catch. Just look at your first piece and see what direction it goes and do the other one the other direction. But friends, I'm so happy y'all have joined me, even though this is just chit-chatting and probably not something that somebody else is working on, because everybody else is probably, that did get this, is probably doing theirs each month, or might have even completed theirs, because you know we did get the whole calendar. We could. It's no surprise though that there's always going to be something that I mess up on. It always is, but at least this time I cut all my fabric right. Normally I forget that 2 have to be up and 2 have to be down, and I end up wasting fabric. And then I may have to go get more fabric at the end, because I don't know how much what I have is going to work. Okay, and this is the top one. And it is correct, friends. I just thought I did it wrong for some reason. I guess because I'm used to doing them wrong, making a mess up somewhere. Let's see, it's Saturday, so what does everybody have going on today for me? Oh goodness, what am I going to be doing? First thing I'm going to do while it is still cool, it's not really cool, but it's not really 100 degrees yet. I am going to go check in my garden and see what I got that I can harvest out of it. I've got a full day planned, and I may just wake up this morning and be tired. And like I said, I'm recording it on Thursday. I may be tired. I may end up doing like I did today. I woke up at 6. I got in here. I did some work. I talked to my youngest daughter. My other 2 were working, so I didn't talk to them. I don't normally talk to them, but my youngest daughter normally checks in on me. And, but anyway, I sat down and went to sleep. Okay, friends, we've got our rows done. So now it is time to be putting them together. The one thing that I have to make sure is that this white goes on this blue. It doesn't matter if it's top or bottom, as long as that white is on that blue. So I am just going to pin this in together here. I see the white is touching the blue there. Now we may have some seams that we have to pin together because they do nest. I made sure to press each row opposite the one above or below it. So now what we're getting done is our first and second row. Like I said, it doesn't matter if it's the top or bottom row, but we're putting 2 rows together right now. And friends, while I'm doing this, I think I'll go on and tell you, I have been doing some genealogy research. Because I know in my family I do have Native American. I believe my papa, which is my mother's father, I believe his mother was 100% Cherokee Indian. Now, what had me start this was because on my retreat, I will be going to Oklahoma to hit Route 66 and do some of the Route 66 things. Well, and I noticed we're going to be going through Choctaw Nation, maybe Cherokee Nation too. I'll need to look at the map better. And I had called my mother and I asked her if somebody had a reservation card. Which that would have been great had somebody done that, because when I was in college, it would have, helped me out being a descendant with a reservation card. Just about can get free education. And boy, that sure would have been nice to have helped with my degrees that I got. But anyway, I was talking to my mother, and she was telling me there's just not a lot of information on my papa's side of the family. But, I'm not really concerned like on my dad's side of the family. We know they came from England, probably on the Mayflower. Not the Mayflower. They did not come over on the Mayflower. But we can trace back to like 1800s on my dad's side of the family. They've always kept records somehow. There may be some, I don't know. We know we're English. But I'm not really sure where they, as they call it, hail from. But on my mother's side, I have been doing a search, trying to find what my great-grandmother, what her thing is, and what information my mom has said. She was adopted, and therefore her reservation card was like canceled out. Well, it might have been canceled out, but she had one. So I'm trying to find out that. So I am going down that rabbit hole, friends. So if anybody has any suggestions about genealogy, I am starting with obituaries, because we do have obituaries going several, like my grandparents and like my grandfather's mother. So I'm hoping we can go from her obituary and find like her mother and father and things like that. I think she was adopted when her mother passed away. And she was adopted by an American person. So, I don't know, friends. I'm fixing to go down the genealogy route on my mother's side. Well, I've done it for years on my dad's side. So, we kind of have a really clear grasp on my dad's side. But, friends, I have our square done. This is our square for the diamond ice. This is the June block. Does that look right? No, it don't look right. Oh, no. Friends, I put that together wrong. Oh, my goodness. I put the white piece in the wrong direction. But, friends, that's going to be it. I will fix it. I'm not worried about it right now, because I'm calling it a night. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for seeing my mishap. Like I told you, I always do that. This right here is wrong. This right here. It needs to be turned the other way. But, friends, thank you so much for sitting and listening to my chit-chat and joining in with me while I'm sewing. I hope you've enjoyed it. Feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, and leave a comment and tell me what you think. I do try to respond to each and every comment personally. And as always, until I see you again, I hope you have a very blessed day. Bye, friends.